Yes, viewer who is getting Lighter TV in all the places, wherever you are most welcome for weekend sports analysis right here at Lighter TV. I have Boifi, one of the experienced and sports analysts within Uganda and Africa at large, with him here at the studio. Wind it up with the sports analysis right here at Lighter TV. Boifi, you are most welcome.
Well, thank you very much, my brother, and I think it's a privilege once again to break down the analysis of sports right here at Lighter TV. Thank you.
Yes, so we are going to give it as usual for you concerning sports, starting it from that is the local scenes, we have national scenes and international scenes, which are becoming on your way respectively. To start right away from local scenes, particularly here in Koboko, Boipi, if you look at the former speaker of that is the speaker of Uganda in the parliament in the names of late Honorable Francis Ayume. So he used to organize that is Independence Cup for the whole of West Nile. We did see teams from Germany used to take part in this tournament, teams in Yumbe and teams in Koboko. Nowadays, since he has his son Honorable Dr. Aime Charles, who has taken up the initiative of his dad, which is now called a late Francis Aime Memorial Independence Cup, is on the way in terms of registration, like teams preparation down there from the grassroots level. What is their take, and perhaps what could be the pace or else the level of preparation you have seen teams have so far in terms of this Francis Aime Memorial Independence Cup?
Yes, thank you very much. Just like you said, it has been there before, and it's not going to be the first of its kind. Remember last year it was played where we did see one school that is the secondary school who were the champions in that very league that was played, and the finals was played at the home grounds of St. Charles College Koboko. Now, the beauty of this tournament, I think right now is you're seeing clubs registering because the room is just open for any team to come and register. As we talk right now, you see clubs registering, you see secondary schools. The beauty is that secondary schools are also registering to take part in this tournament that is organized by the names late Francis Aime Memorial Independence Cup. So I think it is something that brings in together the youth, and it is energizing. Perhaps our youth here, they have the talents, but now enabling, perhaps nurturing the talent is also another thing. So we are saying to the organizers of that is the Independence Cup, it is a very big initiative that is coming down to Koboko right here. Perhaps I'm seeing it as a development in that perspective. Yeah.
Yes, if you look at in terms of preparation, according to the organizing committee, the chairperson, Arojo Ronald, right there, he has said it is made open this time around with restrictions. We have UPL, Uganda Premier League, and proper big league players are not allowed to take part in this tournament, because if you look at their level, their respective leagues have started. UPL kicked off last week, and the proper big league is kicking off today, so it will not give time. However, regional players, mean league players and 4th division, not forgetting 5th division players, are all allowed to take part in this tournament. Concerning the preparation so far, we have around 6 schools which have, in fact 6 clubs which have so far registered for this tournament. The defending champion is in the mix, that is Daystar SS, not forgetting St. Charles Lwanga College Koboko, the only regional team in Koboko, that is Koboko Rising Stars, not forgetting Francis Aime Memorial SS is also in the mix, and Koboko Soccer Talent, not forgetting Tipa Lori Football Club. All these are teams which have shown in interest for this year's tournament. The award is, according to the information, the award is something beyond 1 million Ugandan shillings right there. That is what is happening about Francis Aime Memorial Independence Cup.
Yeah, it is something that is happening right there. And now the beauty of it, just like you've said, is that the award itself will be something that no one could just imagine. But then the good thing is also they have given room for anything to come and register. Perhaps what they say that was at least for a team to register, I think there's a fee of 100,000.
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
Yes, 100,000 Ugandan money, I think, for you to get registered, and perhaps your team also gets in a ball. a ball for perhaps the training, then the match balls will also be provided. I think the organization is doing something very, very incredible in that perspective. So we're just waiting to see how all this shall be rolling down here. Thank you.
Yes, crossing away from Independence Cup, still at Koboko district, there's a new football format which is introduced for the low levels. We mean it used to be 4th division, nowadays it is called 5th division up to even a 6th division. Now concerning 4th division, it is now going to be at a province-based site like it used to be at regional-based, where we did see Western used to have 2 regions, Nile zone and Nyagaka zone. Nowadays, it is now called province level. Now, 4th divisions are now called 5th divisions. Now concerning Koboko, according to DFA of Koboko, the CEO in the names of Sabir, told the media that only 7 teams have registered for 5th division in Koboko district. What is your take in this?
Well, I think that is one of the talking points as we talk right now, because Koboko district is not just a small district. It is a district that brings in many people together. Perhaps many people could be asking questions. 7 teams only to play in the 5th division, in as far as the new format is concerned. But then the answer, of course, simple is yes, because as we talk right now, managing a club in our locality here, West Nile, has a great challenge. First of all, you report into registering a club, whereby the affiliation fee is there. You need to support these players, you need to transport these players, they are feeding, you cater for all that things. I think it is also something costly. But then one thing I love with the community is the support they give towards this team is very, very comprehensive. Now 7 teams registered to play in the 5th division. I think it's not because the DFA maybe neglected. Okay, perhaps stop them from registering. Perhaps it has been the interest shown by the clubs. I think from there.
Yeah, if you look at you said something. It is not that DFA is stopping teams from registering, but rather financial status. Yes, does it mean the new format at the 5th division level is all that expensive, or it is the clubs that are trying to show negativity about this new format?
First of all, the format is just like you wake up from a dream and you start looking forward into it, because dreams are meant to be happening in future. I think about the new format, it was just brought on board. The debate did not take long. It was put in place. Yet teams, perhaps the different teams had their own feelings about the format. Of course, if this thing could be a process, at least maybe the idea is brought on board, and then you give the teams perhaps 2 to 3 seasons to prepare, and then you come up with the format. But this one of ours, I think, was just subsequent, which made a lot of teams not to prepare fully into that. And we have seen clubs right here in Koboko and in some parts of the region who are actually stepping down. Of course, according to reliable sources, as if Nyangile Super Eagles are even going to step down.
Yes, so if you look at the 5th division clubs which have registered in Koboko DFA to take part in next season 2025/2026 5th division tournament, formerly known as 4th division, we have Lima Golden Stars in Koboko North, we have Longra Hot Stars, we have Bamuri Red Stars, we have Yaya All Stars, not forgetting that is a Koboko Soccer Urban right there, that side of Boroglom in Koboko North. So we have Lurujo FC who are going to take part in the next tournament, not forgetting that Equatorial. If you look at most of these clubs are based that side of Koboko North. It seems Koboko North are now taking active part in football right there, concerning, in fact, apart from the other parts of the district right there.
Yeah, you see, football is a game that brings in people together. Football is a game that unites, the youth together. Perhaps it cuts across, the youth, the men, the ladies. Every part of the world is actually brought together, most especially when it comes to sports, perhaps football itself. So I'm looking into this as a growing mentality of our people of Koboko North towards supporting the beautiful game of football.
Yes. In 2 minutes time, still in Koboko, allow us to discuss something about Koboko Rising Stars, the only regional club in Koboko district so far now. We have seen clubs like Nyayang Stars, clubs like tipster clubs like that is Nyangla Super Eagles were relegated from regional league. They are now brought to that is a main province league right there. So if you look at Koboko Rising, they have some 1 or 2 changes which are on the board. They have brought new head coach after when Onama Bosco departed ways with the club. He crossed to the Caterpillars, I mean on the Paraka Football Club right there. So nowadays, they have brought in their former assistant head coach, former assistant captain, that is Alone, who had been captaining, who had been coaching, that is a Nyangla Super Eagles, to be the head coach. Are you seeing improvement in that area there for Koboko Rising Stars, being the only regional team in Koboko?
First of all, that is a great improvement because first you were playing in a league that was zonal based because now the regional league was divided into zonal. So now because of the new format, you're going to play a game that actually takes you to cross borders. Rising is going to travel. That's that side of Bakwachi, you cross sites like you've never gone before. That means it's going to be costly. So now, right now, I'm bringing in a new management, perhaps a new head coach. I think is improvement because the head coach himself has an experience in that club. Just like you mentioned, during his playing time.
Yes, I love one thing you have said. You said the head coach is going to bring in improvement into the team. So if you look at their first game is going to be at home against one of the red clubs when it comes to shopping, being in the market. That is the Pakwach youngsters, right away from the southern hemisphere of that is the West Nile zone. So Pakwach, after acquiring services of experienced people, not forgetting the head coach Caesar Samson Okuti, who had been with on the Paraka Football Club West Nile province team, and finally he has crossed to the far angle of River Nile. That is the Pakwach youngsters. What is your take, or else are you expecting Koboko Rising Stars with the new management, new changes, being the only team, fans coming behind them, collecting maximum points in their first game?
Well, this game is going to present in two sides together. First of all, it has been a summer where transfers were made and clubs were preparing. And what is going to favor Koboko Rising Star in this game is, right now, just like you mentioned earlier on, they are the only club now in Koboko to go and represent in the regional league. So that means the fan base is going to be massive, and according to reports, they have new players that they are yet to unveil. They have new players, new boys on board, and they also have a new head coach, just like you mentioned earlier on. So now, if they're going to unite and work together, we call it teamwork in sports. If they're going to have the teamwork, definitely they'll have an upper hand. Perhaps they're home. You know how teams play at home.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, within national scene, FIFA Big League, the long-awaited event, finally returns today with a series of games which are on card. Before I reach into that, we also FIFA confirmed the playing grounds for some teams right there, which shall come after the talk about the FIFA Big League. So if you look at the FIFA Big League, their first games which are going to be on ground, the most amazing and first game is the West Nile Derby, which in some few minutes to go the game shall be kicking off. We shall be seeing by the Black Angel, the team that completed in 4th position, shall be versing it up against the newly promoted side, that is Navy Central at the Barcor Stadium, home pitch of by the Black Angel. What is your take on this before I tell the overall summaries of the games which shall be coming on our way in FIFA Big League today?
It's an affair. It's a West Nile affair, and it's a big game. It's a big game. It's going to be a derby. First of all, it used to be by the Black Angels only to represent that area in as far as that is the FIFA Big League is concerned. But this time round, after a long struggle, Navy Central gained for themselves a slot to play in that Big League also. But now, one thing that shocks the world is that just after the promotion and the first fixture is a game. You're facing your neighbors, and it's a derby. In this game, the fans are already divided. Some fans of by the Black Angels who were as well fans of Nebuchadnezzar as while they were playing in the regional league, have now returned back to that is Nebuchadnezzar. So there is division of fans, and this game, I tell you what, Barkoro will be full packed, and this game is going to be one of the interesting games in as far as the FIFA Big League.
Yes, perhaps that is not the only game. We also see West Nile Affair. The Caterpillars are away from Arua City to take on that is the Blacks Powers at the Ebenezer University playground in Lira. Right there, that is on the Paraka Football Club for you. What is your take? If you look at it on the Paraka Football Club, they have added some players, some of their former players have come into the team, the likes of Omar Sabir from Midigo Calvary, the likes of Lemeriga Tom from Koboko Rising Stars, common known as Gato. Not forgetting also that is Malis, who have returned from the team after playing for Tunga Saze, playing for St. Mary's Chitende, series of clubs, but finally has returned. Are you expecting massive win, massive start for Onduparaka right away from home?
Yeah, first of all, Onduparaka this time round they seem really organized. Why? Because on the Park of late, just of recent, they organized trial session of around was it 4 days, yes. 5 days that took place at
where we did see over 120 players were in attendance.
So now I think that from the trial they gained the signatures of some players where they got good players for themselves. Besides the trial, they reformed the management, whereby Walter Bazagli became the marketing officer. Onama Bosco became the fitness coach. They brought a new head coach. They have Amazisara, who is as well right there in the board. They have a lot of guys to be mentioned. But then I think from that organization, they are going to take a step and make amends in the FIFA Big League.
So predictions, always predictions. Are you expecting maximum win for that is on the Paraka Football Club at the Ebenezer University playground in Lira?
On pedigree, on the Paraka has not been all that good away from home. So but now with the preparations, maybe they'll come home with a point.
Maybe they will come home with a point. Those are words from my colleague Boyd right there. So to tell you the full pictures of the games which are be coming on your way in Fupa Big League, we shall be seeing Tunga Saze up against Chinda Boys at Mitiana Saza grounds. We shall be seeing that is Chatad up against that is Kigezi Homeboys. This game is going to take place at the Bugolobi Coffee grounds. We shall be seeing Iganga United, newly promoted team, up against that is Zimbabwe Heroes. This game is going to take place at the Iganga Saza grounds. Not forgetting Wakiso Giants, the team which has been relegated from Uganda Premier League, shall be at home at the Wakiso Recreation Ground against the Young Elephant, a team from Northern Region. Karo Karunji shall be sitting at home at the Chiamate Playground to welcome that is the Bunyaru Group United. Then not forgetting Kataka shall be completing the day up against that is the Soltilo Bright Stars right there. This game is going to take place at the Mbale City Stadium right there. So we are going for quick commercial break. When we shall be coming back straight away to nationals, that is UPL, to start it right there with the home grounds which are confirmed by FUFA for the teams which are going to take part in UPL 2025/2026. Stay tuned to Lighter TV. We are bouncing back. We are going for a quick commercial break. Viewer, you are most welcome from that quick commercial break. We are still continuing with the sports analysis for this weekend right here at Lighter TV. Like earlier that I did tell you, we are starting it from the home grounds which are confirmed by FUFA, which is going to be just a wrap up. We have Royal Parks for both Buhimba Center and which is at the Hoima. Not forgetting FUFA Technical Center and Jero. We have Midigo Primary School playing ground in Gimbe. We have Usoga Fisheries grounds in Entebbe. We have Ham Stadium in Inaki Bobo. Not forgetting MTN Stadium Omondi in Lugogo. We have the Royal Parks at the Hoima, that is Buhimba Sense, Lugazi FC Stadium, that is in Najembe. Not forgetting Maroon Stadium in Luzira. We have a Recreation Center, M10 Stadium Omonti, for that is Kira Road. All these are the fields which have been confirmed by FUFA for UPL games right there. Now to go straight away to that is the UPL games which are to take place today. We did see a lot of results which happened to OL. We did see a lot of games which were played in Uganda Premier League, especially when it comes to Giants right there. Bull, the 2 times Uganda Cup winner, or else round in fact Super 8 winner, were held by the tax collectors URA on a 0-all. Then we have Lugazi were 3-1 winners over, that is the Midigo Calvary. Not forgetting police were held on 1-all draw by Mbarara City. And Tebe UPPC, newly promoted side in a new promoted derby, they were beaten at home by that is Buhimba Sons by goal to nil. Kataka Chitara Football Club were at home at Royal Park against the Kasasilo Boys KCCA on 1-all draw. Not forgetting Express were 1-0 winners over UPDF right there. Vipers and Sports Club Villa, not forgetting Maroons and NEC, games were postponed because of international duties. We mean CAF Confederation Tournament, which is taking place right there. We shall be giving you how the next pictures concerning these clubs shall be coming on Yahweh in Match Day 2, since tomorrow's sports edition will be right there for you. Straight away to that is international team, to start it from UPL, in fact to start it from EPL, English Premier League right there. There were a couple of games which are played. Before I give you the overview of the result of the game, the most interesting one in Al Cup game at 2:30 p.m. East African time, we did see Red Devils were hammered by the Bees Brentford by 3-1. My dear colleague Boibi, if you look at this game, the most amazing thing, Benjamin Sesko, he was on his first score sheet for team Manchester United right there. What was your take, or else where have you seen the day went bad for the Red Devils? Is it still the speculating news, the formation of the club, or what?
Well, I think it has been written in the history books of the giant clubs that any early kickoff game you play, you should always face a hard time right there. The game Brentford played against Manchester United, I think, was an interesting game, despite the fact that Manchester United registered the first goal through their leadsman, that is Benjamin Sesko, but later on they suffered a 3-1 deficit to that is Brentford. I think. If I were to analyze about Manchester United's play system of recent, the formation could be good, but what about the players playing the formation? Are they consistent with the formation? Do they understand the tactics being used by the coach to make sure that the formation is actually one formation that helps them to win games? I think that remains a question of time. Perhaps somebody may say $1 million question. So to my own dismay, I think it is the formation which is okay, but then the players are not worthy to play the formation.
Not only that, at home at Stamford Bridge, Chelsea were hammered by that is Brighton and Hove Albion by 1-3. If you look at this game between the Chelsea Football Club and the Brighton Football Club, there were a lot of cases which were registered in this game when it comes to players, speculatory affairs right there. The player in the names of Chaloba in 53rd minute registered a goal after denying a clean call face-to-face goalkeeper approach between the box striker and him as the last man there. So this one asked Brentford, Brighton to secure maximum opportunities after when video assistant referee VAR denied a penalty opportunity which was caused by Minte. In additional minutes, after when 11 minutes were added, Brighton had to spearhead Chelsea by 3-1. What were your memories in this game, or else how was the overview about this game here?
Chelsea fans are like they were denied the penalty. Meanwhile, Brighton fans are like they also were denied the penalty. But all in all, the game to me was balanced because I was part of watching that very game right there. Chelsea, it has been the second time in the second in their players getting red card subsequently on two straight up games played right in there. So yesterday was a time for that is Trevor Chalobah for you right there. I think the red card in simple terms affected them in that game. The gap was there, the void was there. With a pacey attack of Brighton and Hove Albion, you cannot tell me that you expect them not to score. So I think they were on their good day. I'm talking about Brighton Football Club.
Yes, they were on their good day. That is the Brighton and Hove Albion right there. One of the most interesting thing was the two unbeaten teams The two unbeaten teams, that is the Crystal Palace up against the Ancelotti side, the Liverpool Football Club, were beaten in last minute, in last 6 additional minutes through Eddie Ketia, former Arsenal guy, to make a maximum points for Crystal Palace, 2-1 in favor of Team Liverpool. So if you look at this game, Mark Gui, the captain of Team Crystal Palace, who had approached interest from that is Liverpool club, was outstanding in this game. Although he had someone or two silly passes right there, but at the end of it all, they utilized the maximum opportunities. And if you look at this game, the star man of Team Liverpool, Hugo Ekitike, was in absence due to the red card he got. So was it absence of Hugo Ekitike that made Liverpool to be defeated in this game, or what? According to your own perspective, right there.
I was started by this recent one. It is not. It actually was not the absence of Hugo Ekitike. Perhaps we have one of the outstanding leadsman, that is Alexander Isak, who is also in that team of that is Liverpool for you. I think it has been a history that Ismail Assar squad list against Liverpool when Crystal Palace plays Liverpool. Just like you've said, Mark Gray, the team captain of Crystal Palace, throughout was very outstanding, knowing very well that he's playing against a side that actually is demanding for his signings right there. So he had a very good game.
He had to prove to them that he is the rightful person.
He's the rightful person. Come maybe the next summer. I think they had a good game. Edin Ketia was very outstanding in actually getting that late goal. Liverpool has been scoring late goals, and yesterday it turned to be the opposite against them. So I think football is working out. And one thing is you need to know is that Crystal Palace in the English Premier League are yet unbeaten. They are yet to be beaten. They right now they are sitting second on the table. Just after beating Liverpool, they have 12 points. And they are sitting second. That means Crystal Palace is a team to be looked into. They had a good game. Even they were to beat Liverpool with a more than 5-goal margin. But then Liverpool's skipper, that is one man, Alisson Becker, was very outstanding in there.
Yes, those are the views about. Those were not the only games which were played in English Premier League. They were a series of games which were played. To give you the overview of the games which were played, we have a team like Aaron that I did highlight for you. Team Brentford were 3-1 winners over Manchester United. Chelsea were beaten at home by Team Brighton and Hove Albion by 1-3. Not only that, Crystal Palace were 2-1 winners over Team Liverpool. Leeds at Carrow Road were held on 2-2 draw by Bournemouth. Not forgetting Manchester City at Etihad Stadium went riot by beating Burnley by 5-1. Nottingham Forest at home were beaten by 1-0 by that is Sunderland FC. So Tottenham Hotspurs at Spurs Arena were held on 1-1 draw by a team which has just secured their point. This is also one of the another talking points. If you look at Tottenham Hotspur up against the Wolverhampton Wanderers, this game Tottenham Hotspur scored their goal in late quarters minutes of the game. So if Wolves are to continue with that pedigree, are you seeing Wolves surviving in this EPL 2025/2026 season?
Well, that is it. English Premier League is a game that you need to come full set and prepared. It is a game of resilience, a game that you need to persevere and endure. How much you lose games, but then the more you prepare, the more you actually get on your good days. Who could believe that that is a Wolves will get their first point against a stubborn Tottenham Hotspur? I think that was a very big achievement for them right there. So now, if they're going to reset themselves and come into the next game with full energy, bigger and better, definitely they're going to put in a performance, and then that will also have to take them into another level right there.
Yes, Sunday 28th of September we shall be seeing two games in English Premier League. Aston Villa up against the Fulham Football Club. We have one of the another talking points, that is Newcastle United at St. James Park shall be welcoming the Gunners Arsenal Football Club. So if you look at this game, into paper seems to be favoring Team Arsenal Football Club, but when it comes to Jolinton and that is Bruno Guimaraes against the team Arsenal Football Club. They always put headlines, putting in mind the guy who heads giant club, that is Alexander Isak, departed ways with the club. So that is not the only game we have. On Monday, 29th September, we shall be seeing Monday night football game that is between Everton, one of the stubborn teams this time around, up against West Ham United after sacking their head coach, being replaced immediately by that is Nuno Espirito Santos, former of that is Team Wolves and the Nottingham Forest, respectively, right there. Perhaps in 1 or 2 minutes, you are talked about Newcastle United and Arsenal Football Club game.
Thank you very much. I think this is now the game where the rest of the fans are so much interested into watching. First of all, this is going to be a big game for Team Arsenal because now, in case they win this game, they will bounce back to their position of being second on as far as the table standing is actually concerned. First of all, coming into this game, you saw how Giants were suffering against the minor teams. They really suffered, but then will it be Arsenal to make amends, perhaps to break it through? I think that remains a question of time. But then it's going to be a very big game to watch. Newcastle, after losing in Alexander Isak to Team Liverpool, I think they have a new young gentleman who actually is very, very exceptional in that attack of Team Newcastle. Just like you mentioned earlier on, those guys, the players are really committed. I think they'll do something bigger and better. But then I could reserve my predictions for now.
Viewer who has been getting Lighter TV, it has been the two giant guys in the studio here. That is a Boipi and me, actually, Emmanuel. Perhaps Boipi, your words right there to the viewer concerning the defeat of Manchester United, not Chelsea, but Manchester United.
Well, it has been a good one right there. In football, we have three things. We have you can either draw, you either lose, or you win. Definitely, the best team always takes it on. Thank you for being part and passion of this show.
We have finally come to the end of today's weekend sports analysis. Hope to catch up next time for daily sports update right there. We shall be giving you a lot of things concerning sports when it comes to sports update, but keep following every weekend. That is Lighter TV for sports analysis. From you to me, we are out of the studios right here.